You hear a lot of people saying, yeah, we had in the military, we had brotherhood, but they are not necessarily my friends. Well, what's the difference? So let's dive into that topic today. Hey guys, welcome to the High Ground. My name is Fabio, and today I'd like to tackle again a more philosophic topic, the difference between brotherhood and friendship. Now, to get this out of the way first, experiences are different from person to person. And what I will give you today is my experience and what I learned during my time. We hear a lot of people talking about brotherhood in the military, in their social clubs, etc., wherever, right? Even in climbing, some people talk about it. And I was recently in Tuscany, in Italy, with a group of guys, and that made me thinking about friendship, brotherhood, what the differences are, and it really reminded me of things that happen in the military. And this is what I want to share with you today. Now, to give you an impression what happened in Tuscany and what we in Switzerland do in our free time, let's roll 1 minute of video and then we'll see us again. Okay, so this video was put together by a friend of mine who actually was organizing the trip to Tuscany. And yeah, I found it nice and wanted to share it with you. But now, really, let's get into the topic. From our group that was down there, I knew some people, and some people were completely new to me. I didn't know them at all. And I observed something that was quite remarkable, and I wanted to share it with you because that was what exactly reminded me of the whole brotherhood topic. When we were down in Tuscany, we did a lot of stuff, right? We shot a little bit on longer ranges, at least for 2 to 3. We did some drills, we trained some SOPs, and we also did what they called a Mogadishu run. That's basically a remembrance to the Mogadishu mile. Looked it up if you're interested in it. Basically, we're in a big training area, and we were running from point to point while shooting at targets. And at the end, we had to grab a weight sack and bring it back down and run all the way back. So it was only meant to be a little bit physically challenging. And we had guys with us, especially one guy who just recovered from sickness. And what I noticed from myself, from what I would maybe have said on the first day, like, yeah, then you wait here and we do the Mogadishu mile, right, or the Mogadishu run. On the last day, I actually had an interest of this guy coming with us. It was really gratifying to motivate him within the group and to also carry him morally through that run. Because for him it was hard, right? You could see that he was working hard, and he was still trying to give his best, and I'm not sure if he would have done that on the first day. And this is this remarkable thing that also happens in the military, right? There are people, I would say, or I would venture to say, that in ordinary life you might not be friends because you have totally different backgrounds. Maybe you don't even like their character. But there is something about the hardship and also the danger of what you're doing, because also now when we were in Tuscany, right, if somebody messes up his gun handling, he can injure other people, right? Of course, all those guys were vetted, but still there is this component that is very similar. Of course, not the same, but very similar to what I experienced in the military. And this is really something that I find that civilians, for example, when I've talked to my wife, really don't understand. You can have this vested interest in a person, in the success of that person within the mission, without actually even liking them, right? And this is why this video is called The Difference Between Brotherhood and Friendship, or why the topic of this video is the difference between brotherhood and friendship. Because it's something very distinct that you can say, hey, this person is on a certain way important to me, although I would not hang out with him or her. And yeah, that was it was nice to experience that again, because it is something different and something special. I'm not saying that you don't have friends in the military, right? But you're within such a huge group of guys and girls now, that you also have the ones that are closer to you, that really become friends. But you also have the other ones where you would still be willing to risk everything to protect them and to support them, right? And in my experience, if that willingness to step up for each other breaks down, that's the first mark of a unit actually going down the drain. So that's not a good thing. I was also thinking if it would be possible to emulate this feeling, because I think it's very useful, right? In a different environment. Of course, you can do it within mountaineering, alpinism, maybe even climbing, but it's a little bit different there because you have per default a smaller group and you choose the people with whom you're actually out there, right? So if I meet somebody up before to get to know them before we want to do a climb together and I don't like them, there is no chance that I will actually go out with them. So it's a different setting, right? With the whole thing that I now explained with Tuscany when we were down there, or with the military, you are forced to live and work with people that you didn't necessarily choose. And yeah, that was a quite interesting experience. And I saw in discussions that I had since then that sometimes people have a difficulty to understand this. And this is why I wanted to share it with you, because I think it's something that we take for granted, or everybody who was in the military might take for granted, but it is not necessarily clear. Now, to finish this off, brotherhood, friendship, brotherhood, maybe as a community out of necessity, that where you're still stepping up a lot for other people. Friendship, something that might evolve more on a voluntary basis. Of course, they can mix up, and those are very meaningful relationships, but they don't necessarily have to. And maybe that's also the key to understanding why people in the military or otherwise in similar circumstances can really risk a lot for each other, but can also at the same time not really like each other. Okay, so I hope you found this one interesting. It was just a rather short thing out of my experience that I wanted to share. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.